Om Devi Brahmacharini Namah. Om Devi Brahmacharini Namah. Om Devi Brahmacharini Namah. Today, on this second day of Navratri, is the day dedicated to the Mother Goddess in the form of Brahmacharini. She is that incarnation or that form of Parvati who did the intense sadhana, intense tapas, in order to get Lord Shiva as her husband. It's said that she meditated and did austerities and all forms of sadhana in the mountains for 5,000 years. So she's that goddess of peace, of love, of purity, who through that intense sadhana got Lord Shiva to marry her and to become her eternal together one. We don't say husband or wife because it's God we're talking about, but got him to be her one. So Brahmacharini she's worshipped as the giver of moksha, that ultimate divine liberation. And that's why we do our sadhana. We meditate, we pray, we do japa, we do yoga, we do seva, we do all of our sadhana, ultimately for the highest goal of liberation, freedom, moksha. And she is seen as the goddess of moksha, the bestower of that. Brahmacharini literally means, whether it's, you say brahmacharya, if it's a man, brahmacharini, if it's the feminine, it's those who are on the path of the divine, on the path of the supreme. So she's that form of the goddess whose embodiment was spent on that path of the divine. And she's the goddess of the swadisthana chakra. Her seat is in the swadisthana chakra. We spoke yesterday about Shailputri being seated in the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. Well, Brahmacharini is seated in the swadisthana chakra, which is just a few inches up from our root chakra. It sits about 2 inches below our navel, a few inches above the groin. And swadhisthana in Sanskrit literally means the place of the self. Swa is self, and stan is place. So swadhisthana chakra is that energy center at the seat of the self. And it's said that our consciousness really begins there. So she's the one who is placed in that seat where our consciousness begins, which is so beautiful because as that consciousness begins, we pray for that purity. We pray ultimately for that moksha, for that freedom. When our consciousness rises, as it goes higher and higher, ultimately we become free. So the evolution of consciousness, you can say, from the swadhisthana chakra moves upward. And we'll go into all of the other chakras as the different days go by. But today, we meditate upon the swadhisthana chakra, upon upon that seat of the self, a beautiful way to meditate upon it is with the breath. If you can bring your awareness to your breath, low in that swadisthana chakra, and as you inhale, you feel that energy center expanding, feeling the lotus petals just opening on each inhalation. And on each exhalation, as you exhale, just exhale back down, down deeply into the swadhisthana chakra. When most of us breathe, we breathe just from up here, high in the chest. But this is a perfect day to begin a meditative practice of being anchored in the breath, in the swadhisthana chakra. And that will give you the opportunity in your meditations, not just today, but every day, of really grounding yourself, anchoring yourself in that seat of the self through the breath. If you're ever feeling stressed, anxious, like you're not yourself, just close your eyes and bring the breath down to the swadhisthana chakra. And you'll find that in just a few breaths, suddenly you are anchored again. The form of the demon, the asura, that form of the ego that Devi Brahmacharini conquered, is known as nishumbha. We had shumbha yesterday, which is I-ness, and today is nishumbha, which is my-ness. It arises out of I-ness, but it's the sense not just of my individuality and separateness from you, but of this sense of ownership, this idea that things are mine, not yours, mine. And it's that urge and that energy to grab more, to hoard more, to have more. And so it leads us into, obviously, ignorance, into greed. It misdirects us. It leads us into selfishness. And it walls us off, of course, not only from each other, but from the true fullness within ourselves, because the more I'm trying to grab and hoard and hold, the less aware I am of the very overflowing, abundant fullness of myself. So today we honor Devi Brahmacharini. We chant her mantra of Om Devi Brahmacharinyai Namah. Om Devi Brahmacharinyai Namah. Om Devi Brahmacharinye Namah. And as we pray to her, we pray for that peace, that joy that comes in ultimate freedom. And in that ultimate freedom, we pray to vanquish the sense of my-ness, that nishumbha within ourselves. Have a beautiful second day of Navratri, and look forward to joining together tomorrow as we move into our third form of the Mother Goddess. Om Devi Brahmacharinye Namah.